Hi there, this is Joanna. This is the live in English. Alright. The title is What on Earth is Going On? And this is the you could say this is the what's going on with my hair. This is the citation more or less from Mark Passio, if you know. If you don't know, just go and check it. Who's Mark Passio? Alright. But this is the good statement. What on the earth is going on? What the fuck is going on the earth? That's it. There will be four parts, and one part will be a little mixed. One part will be about me. I'm kind of starting a new series. It will be only in English, and when I finish off all that, I will start speaking in Spanish. It may be a new year, another year, in 2026, I think. I do not like mixing much languages on this Facebook. So lives will be in English only, and there will be no other lives. Okay, first part, today I will talk who am I. I will try to explain the best I can what's going on with me, who am I, what I do, and the second part will be so what on the earth is going on. So I will put it in all in a holistic perspective. That means that in 10 minutes I will try to more or less explain what is going on, what is the world living, going through, and it will be a historical perspective, and there will be a philosophical perspective, because this is essential. We have such an epoch that everybody should understand everything from this holistic perspective, and there should be historical, and there should be the philosophical view as well. And yeah, I will simplify because it's necessary, because you cannot, right? I will not go into details, but I will explain that. And it's just that I want us, people from Europe, for example, to understand the world, all other parts, and people from the world to understand Europe. Right? So I will just use those two perspectives. That's why I say it will be holistic. Holistic means the broad view, all right? Different points. And the fourth part, or third part, will be about you. So I just went through all this Facebook, and I was looking at my Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and I was looking for foreigners. I was trying to see who is there, and I was just thinking about people who are just writing me or emailing me what you talk about, and I was trying to understand how you understand me and what I am doing, and I will just address it right at the end. So just stick to the end. And yeah, and I've got some kind of how to say, some kind of how to say, I will have some kind of offer at the end to you, right? Some kind of exchange. All right, I am, in Polish we call it wiedma. All right, wiedma, that there are two parts in this word. The first part is wied. Wied is wiedza, it's knowledge. So basically, and it's feminine, so basically it's the woman who has knowledge and gives knowledge. And yes, you can say it's a teacher, right? The broad view is a teacher. Only that wiedma, basically, it's about teaching ancient knowledge. And it's not really teaching languages like I did but also as well because I was teaching also Polish, and I wrote lots of books about languages and the Polish language as an ancient language, and I did the huge reform of Polish grammar, okay? And I was talking also about Lithuanian, Sanskrit, and so on, and all the connections. So you can see me as a teacher, and I understand that, but in Polish we say it's a wiedma. Now, wiedma, the original word is wiedźma, that's the Polish pronunciation, and this, at one moment, with Catholicism, Christianism, it got translated in other languages in a simplified way, and it got some kind of stamp, negative stamp, right, a negative view, negative connotations, so it is translated into a witch, for example, which is not true, but that's what religion did, saying that all the wise people from before the epoch of religion are witches, meaning they are bad. But what bad means? Bad means that they are dangerous to the system and to what they wanted. All right. What I do, my website is from matrix to self.com, and what I do, I'm talking about those two things. Matrix, which is more or less civilization, and this you can say extorted part of civilization, and so this is a part of artificial system that you can say that it can imprison you, it's controlling you, so and it's around you, but it's also in the way you are thinking, in your mind, and I'm just talking about that. Understand that, wake up, who you are, see what you can do, see what are your possibilities, and wake up, and then see that you are a part of a big universe, matrix, also in English, but it's called, you can say, matrice, and basically it's a great mother, god, goddess, who is just energy and vibration, and from that you cannot really evacuate yourself. You cannot go out, you cannot leave, because you will die, and basically even if you die, you are a part of this matrice, okay, this mother, ancient mother, and you will always be a part of energy, because God passes through you and is inside of you, so you are part of God, of this cosmic energy. You are just a part of it. You cannot just go out, you cannot leave that. What you can leave your prison, your matrix inside your mind, and you can leave in a way, the system, but not all the system of civilization as well, right? That's not it. What I do, I'm helping people with understanding that, but the most, you always start with yourself. So that means that what I do, I offer a kind of holistic approach, and I'm a wiedma, all right? So I use different parts of ancient knowledge, such as astrologies, numerology, and also mixes, contemporary mixes, such as human design, or a part of Kabbalah, Tarot, and lots of knowledge about archetypes, about energies, all right? And I do it in a very practical way. So I basically answer your questions and your problems. I don't just do it for doing it. I just don't do it so that you can read it and feel better about yourself, read it like a book about yourself. No, I just do it so that you have some kind of breakthrough, so that you can understand what's your vocation and what are your blocks and what are your problems, right? So that's it. That's analysis that I do based on data that you give me. And always there needs to be a second part, second step, which is your work, personal work, work on you. When you already know what is your vocation, or that you, for example, were following a wrong path. You, for example, you chose a wrong vocation, a wrong job. Then you need to reschedule, you need to change, you need to do the metamorphosis of your life, and that's a difficult thing. As well, there are some problems, blocks, traumas from childhood. So if you can work on it yourself, bravo, that's great. Most people can't. So but yeah, most people just can't. I also didn't do it. Also, I needed help of some people in the past. So just use the help, and I can help with that. And we do some kind of process, consultations, sessions. So that's what I do, right? That's a huge part. That's what I do. But some people just did it before or are not ready. So I also have a lot of books, and I will start translating that in English and Spanish in some time in the future. And I've got webinars, and those webinars are already in different languages, and they will be ready at the end of this year. For now, there is only, I think, one ready in Polish. And so that's what I do. Okay, that's who I am. Now, who I am, there's more. So I'm more or less present here in this social media system. I've been present here for many years. So some people know me, some don't. I will just tell you that there are lots of people like me. So you just need to see with whom you are resonating, with whom you want to go and work, or who can help you, what you can take from the person. Okay, so you just, if you listen to me, you need to feel, does it resonate with you or not, and how much you want and how much you don't want. Anyway, I will just tell you basics. So sometimes it resonates when I just talk about more or less my life and my own matrix, right? So I will say it quickly, and I want to go to that second part about the history, about the earth. All right, numerology wise, my life path is 9. 9, that's somebody who helps people. That's that's somebody who helps people. That's wise person, and this person can be a little a kind of observer, right? And there's much more inside of that, and I kinda my numbers, I vibrating kinda Tesla, like in a Tesla system, right? 369, and I got it in my patterns over and over, and yeah. From the human design, I'm a manifestor from my aura, and from personality, I've got 5-2, which goes to heretic. It's called heretic 5, and it's a kind of teacher for difficult times, you can say that, and yeah, a savior, which is not really the point. It's something that's the vibration, okay? And the other part is about being a little an observer, and being a little far away from the world, observing it, and only when something really difficult is going on, being far away, meaning more or less I live in my world. I do my work, I write my books, I just kinda create, manifest some kind of energy. So then people come to me because they are maybe interested, but there are also some people who are attracted because we can just work together and I can help. And there is an exchange because there is a huge transpersonal activity, in a sense. I influence people and people influence me. All right, so that's my more or less my vibration, and I think that's sufficient. And those vibrations, more or less, they just help me be what I am, right? Now, I didn't call myself Wiedma or teacher even before. I used to be very much in a shade, and I like to be kind of in a shade, in a forest, as I say, a Wiedma in a forest, yeah, we call it Baba Yaga in Polish mythology. That's that. And I just like to sit there and just come out from time to time. That's how it works. And I was very much in the shade, doing my processes, my own traumas from childhood. I had a kind of difficult childhood, and then I had difficult relationships, and I worked through all of that, right? And then I was a single mother, and so on and so on, and I was just going abroad, living there, coming back to Poland, and then finally I'm in Peru, and Peru is like a final era of my life, you can say, and this is definitely a point. I'm going to the point where I know that I cannot really work alone and just from time to time help somebody. I understood that there needs to be this era of foundation, foundation in the sense of the structure, legal structure, charity organization that will attract people who will want to work with me in the reality and on the internet, right? And we can just build something together. So that's a new step, right? Yeah, I think that's it about me. So at the end, talking about you, all foreigners, I will just tell you what this foundation, what this organization, charity organization is all about, and I will try to answer your questions. Okay, what on earth is going on? So to put it shortly, let's see if we can do it in 10 minutes. Yeah, let's start from the historical perspective, but holistic, right? Holistically. So there's the earth and there's outside, right? The universe. And clearly we've got the epoch when we should start talking more or less how it is and how it was, without going too much in all those theories or truth, but let's just do it kind of generally. There is the earth, and on the earth are living earth people, and I call them natives. And when I go to the philosophical perspective, I call them natives black, because they are part of yin energy, feminine energy. All right, now let's go back to historical or geographical. There's the earth, and there are those people, native people, who just belong to the earth, and they are the only owners, truly only native people, and they are in numbers, that's the biggest number. White people are not. Yeah, let's not go in details, but yeah, native people are the owners of the earth. They grew here, they appeared here, they grew here, they developed the earth and all their understanding, and they are just owners of the earth. All right. Now, at one moment, from outside came other people, right, from different planets, and that's the fact. Because I mean, we are not even in the epoch to say, oh no, there are no proofs. Surely there are no proofs that we see, but there are, right? They will come. Never mind. There came to the earth came other beings, other people, you can say, from different planets, from different places. Now, let's talk only about this, what makes this binary, what makes the opposition. So let's talk about the thing of white people who came at one moment, and they started to connecting with natives, and they started with building the civilization, you can say, right? Because the connections, you had lots of connections, lots of beings were coming to the earth with different idea and with different objectives, right? They just wanted to gain something from the earth and from native people. Yeah, but let's simplify all that, and let's see it that way, that at that moment right now we have some people who live on the earth, and we've got native people and we've got white people. Let's simplify that, right? Of course there are mixes, genetics mixes, and we want to connect ourselves, and we then go to our places and then connect and disconnect, connect and disconnect, and that's the dynamics, right? And of course there are lots of kind of races, nations and so on, but to understand what is going on we just need to simplify everything, right? So that's why I'm saying there are natives who are already mixed, right, with other beings, and even with whites, and there are whites who are already mixed with other beings and with natives, right? But anyway, there is this opposition, and that's good. And native people are connected to the earth. They are owners of the earth, and they just live here, and those are the only people who have in themselves the most of this native genetics, and only they can understand the needs of the earth perfectly. Therefore, only they can be the true owners, and they can only truly take care of this earth. Therefore, they really know how to cultivate. They really know how to do their chakras, all right? How to be how to be farmers, right? How to grow crops in order to have food, but also not to harm the Mother Earth. And full stop. That's only that, right? And because they are really, we are built differently, okay? Those people who came from outside, and mostly people who came with this white genetics, let's say, I call them, the names are different, okay? I call them Ra people, people of the sun, people from, and in mythologies you've got that, okay? Here are earth people, native people, people connected to yin energy, feminine energy, mother energy, earth energy, matter, and so on. And here are people, and I'm simplifying, yes, but we need to simplify that. Now we are going from history to a little bit in philosophy. And there are people from the sun, from the sky, from the universe, people who are more in yang energy, more in masculine energy, who have stronger part of this part, right? So this part is more etheric part, spiritual part, mental, but all the universe mostly initially is mental, right? It means spiritual. And yeah, so we are kinda already like a opposition, binary opposition, yin yang, right? Those white people from outside, let's simplify it, kinda all the people from outside, but there are specifically those people who are very vibrating very high, and here are people from the earth who are vibrating very low. And philosophically speaking, we just need to connect ourselves, and we started connecting I don't know, since times immemorial, right? And everything, it can be peaceful, it can be in wars, but the connection is like this: connect, disconnect, connect, disconnect, right? That's how the world changes. All the universe changes like that. Now, that was more or less philosophical, right? Because the energy is like that. There is this energy which is more in matter, you can say. So this is yin, and there is yang, which is more in spiritual and more energetic, right? More high vibrating. And anyway, this part needs to learn from that part, and that part needs to learn from that part. And I call it all this is cosmic energy. We are all in cosmic energy. But God is all the time like that. It's spiritual, right? But there's matter, and everything needs to, one needs to go into another. Yeah, and this movement of energy, of kinda being whole and being disconnected, being whole and being disconnected, is the eternal movement of God, right? Of energy. Yeah, that was spiritual, but to understand it well, just imagine that there are questions, right? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? In the sense, let's start from the beginning, right? Let's say some kind of beginning, but let's start from historically speaking. There were native people, there was earth, and came those other, and those others, okay, sometimes they just wanted to colonize the earth, sometimes they just wanted to give some good, some civilization, yeah, kind of give more knowledge conscious to native people, right? But anyway, first you had natives, and they were in their places like Africa, all right? Well, at the beginning they had all the earth, but there were not so many, right? Then those people, you can say people from outside the earth, and I'm saying mostly we can now say white people, because this is like kinda, there is kinda saying, okay, all white people are colonizers and kinda connected to civilization, and all other people are connected to the earth, and it's the rest of the world, what you say, the third world, which is horrible as a name. But simply, at the beginning, it was that native people were connected with some people from outside, and the people from outside, from other planets, they just wanted to get something from them, right? Colonize the earth. Yes, that's true. But then another era came, those really white people who wanted to help native people and just raise vibrations of the earth, right? But then there was another era when there was a split also in those white people, and that's why you see, for example, the East Europe and Asia and West Europe and North America. There is a difference. I know that many people, for example, from Asia, I don't know, Pakistan, India, South Africa, you don't really understand that, but there is a big split. There is a big difference between Slavic people and all those people like Polish, Nordic people as well, and all Slavic people, and Russia and Asia, and on the other side, there's a different word, right? You can say that Arya people initially are Slavic people, all right, and they connected themselves from Asia. They just spread all that civilization over there, but in the West Europe and also North America, you've got more like a Celtic word or Roman Celtic, and they are like not even brothers. I would say they are sons of these Arya civilizations, and they got a little bit too much into imperialism. When that happened, there was another era of the earth when white people were viewed by all natives or all other people of the earth as colonizers. So came kind of the same epoch from the first epoch, right? It connected itself. And it was the epoch when all people from the West Europe and North America, well, first people from the West Europe went to North America, right, starting colonize that territory, but then also West Europe and North America, they all started to colonize the other parts of the world, right? That's what happened with Africa and South America and and Asia, right? Okay. And now we are in the new epoch when it already started some time ago, right? All those people who were in colonies, native people, they just said no, all right? They said no, as well as native people, African, as well native people, Indian in North America, as well as African people. They said no to all which is enslavement, all that was just using their power, right, for what? For building the civilization, you can say, but basically it was imperialism, right? And there was this no, and that was the epoch that started and continues right now. Is the epoch of kind of this is the waking up, this is the building your own ego, your own individuum, your nation, right, your patriotism, and this is the epoch when native people understand that they just don't want to live like that. And this epoch is just finishing, but it was the epoch when colonies were finished and people started to get free and build their nations, right? That's what happened in Africa, that's what happened in America, South America, Asia, and so on, right? And that was also the time when of wars, big wars, and the end of communism. You can say the end, but yeah. So that epoch was the time when native people, they just kind of, they went into higher vibrations and their consciousness grew, okay? And white people, they just backed off. That's what happened with imperialists, right? That's what happened with West Europe and North America. yeah, I know they still continue, because there is, okay, we'll talk about, oh, let's talk about it now. At some moment, from this, you can say, imperialist mind, and it's not now, it started, I don't know, thousands years ago, but it grew, and we call it agenda, and we call it matrix. We call it some people, a group of people who just started to control the world through money, banking, and also propaganda, information, education, and all kind of indoctrination and ideas that were putting into the world, right? And it got kind of together with all the ideas or ideologies such as communism or even fascism, or it doesn't really matter, some kind of ideas that were not healthy for the society. Anything is not healthy, which is exaggerated, like communism is not, but it was used, and feminism, liberalism, even neo-liberalism that we've got now, fascism, and all that, it was used by that agenda, right? And it was connected to imperialism. Now, white people, imperialists, kind of backed off because came the other era, and that era, it was kind of the epoch of rebirth, new birth of feminine energy, and that's what we have now. So we are switching places slowly, and what's going on is that white people, imperialists, just backed off in their big number, meaning if at the beginning there was the earth, native people owned the earth, and came white people, yeah, I said that, and first they wanted to colonize, but they backed off. Then came Arya people who wanted to help, and they started to install the civilization, and that was good. But then they split, and came all the epoch of imperialism and colonies. All right, so they entered different parts of the world of native people, and they destroyed it, right? And then they started to back off, meaning they were leaving countries of native people, and native people started to be in their own countries, in their new idea, who am I, what is my identity, their new path to high vibrations, right? Now, white people backed off, and I know we are not going into details if they backed off completely or not, but I'm saying more or less the epoch of colonies finished. So they backed off, they just kind of left Africa, they kind of left South America, they kind of left colonies of the Asia, right? And they just left in peace, you can say, native people, and they just gave them some rights and so on, right? But the agenda, all right, but I'm talking about the whole of kind of white people and native people, but still all the time there is going on this kind of agenda of people who are, you can say, doing black magic and control, and they kind of, no matter what epoch, they kind of go and do their stuff, okay? Now we've got that epoch when there's all the revival of the feminine energy, and that means that when white people just backed off, they just returned to Europe and to North America, stayed in North America, Europe, and Australia, and this more or less are parts of where white people live, and there is the idea that there is all Christian, Catholic, or atheist, or so on, all right? You can have the idea that those are places where live white people the most, okay? and they kind of live in peace, or really in peace, with native people who live there, right? Because they are aborigines in Australia and so on. But now we've got another epoch, and this is, I know that the present times are always the most difficult to understand for other people, and right now we've got the time when there is the feminine energy revival, which means there is the native people revival. Their level of consciousness is so that, and the energy is so that just this energy, how to say, how far this energy, you can say also young energy, masculine energy, white people energy, how far they came inside those native people places, the same amount of energy, just, it's like a pendulum, the same amount of energy now needs to enter, maybe not in the same period of time, but the same kind of power needs to enter into the white people places, the original, all right? So that's what we have right now. It all started, you could say, with it all started basically with North America, because over there you had also you had lots of people. Initially, you had lots of natives who are Africans, okay, who were brought over there, but also there was kind of exodus of South America people to North America, okay, so Mexicans and so on. They started entering white people places, right? So that was their need, kind of, for to level energies, right? And that's of course that's not conscious, that's subconscious, that's on the level of God, but I just explain it in a philosophical way. So that started, okay. South America started entering North America, Africa started entering the Europe, and Asia started, but I'm talking here about India, Pakistan, and all that which is that which gives the most polarity. So all the Islamic people started entering Europe, and the thing is that it's energetic. I'm not saying that we need to have some kind of Armageddon, that it's good that there's all those immigrants in Europe, in England, right, or that there are so many immigrants in for example, USA. I'm just saying it's kind of normal, because the white energy who was so expansive, who was so imperialist, too much, right? And it was not Slavic original area. I'm saying that all the time. It was that split, okay? That was this mind, West European mind, more or less imperialist, Germanic so on, okay? Deutsch, Teuton, and all that Roman mind. That was their idea, and connected to Roman Catholic, and connected to this agenda, and as well connected to the Catholic world, Catholic Church, right? And they started to kind of enter those places, native places, and now, and they were, you could say that they were so strong, but they were toxically, it was toxic strong, right? They were just aggressive. They were being aggressive. And now what's happening, we've got the same thing. We've got the toxic and aggressive attitude of native people. And yes, it's a kind of revenge. Because what happens? when the energy, and it was the young energy, the core area, okay, and that's really the spirit, the mentality, the I want to do good, I want to help, I want to just raise vibrations. But West Europe, and we need to say it clearly who started it, right? They started with the agenda of Satanists and so on. They started to do it toxic big, right? We are the best, we are owners of the world. They are not owners of the world. White people are not owners of this earth. The owners of this earth are native people, that's it. And they just want to get back the earth. Punto, right? But they just got strong, toxically strong. And the effect of that with energy is always that you finally fall. Because after the big, when you don't stop yourself, your ego in growing, in being big, and you want to be big, using other people, you will always fall, and they are just falling. So all the West Europe is just falling. They are just being very weak. They just let go of kinda everything. And that's already happened in USA or Canada, and they just, you can say that they just let the agenda work, yeah. But all this is energetic. There is a kind of feeling of it's my fault that native people are suffering, and so on and so on and so on, and it's also exaggerated. But they just started being weak, and the effect of feminine energy revival is also that white people's masculine white energy is being weak. All right, so that's what's happening. All right, so white people, but the split white people, but also you can say Slavic people are weak, because we kinda gave up at one point, because we couldn't do anything else. Those imperialists connected as well to Russia, all right, which betrayed, you can say, at one moment Slavic people. They were just stronger, right? So we are in this epoch when native people, they just want their revenge, they just want enter the white people territory, and they come over there, and but all energetically and subconsciously, this is kind of the last moment of learning, because the white people, imperialist white people, let's say West Europe and North America and Australia, they just need to learn their lesson. And their lesson is you need to be a little, you cannot be the owner of the world while destroying others, right? And the native people, which are all the people from the native people, you understand, right? They can be a little black, less black, more black, it doesn't matter. Those are really native people. It depends on the genetics and on the attitude and really where you live, where you, yeah. That's a deep topic. I'm not going to go through, go into that. But people from South America, Africa, Asia, Aborigine people, native people, they just, this is like their last lesson, right? Last lesson, last contact, you can say, and last struggle before the Satya Yuga. It's the last struggle, I could say, of Kali Yuga to understand each other. So first they just needed to understand each other on the territories of native people, and that was a big lesson for yeah, for both native and white. And now the war is in places of white people, right? And we again need to understand that lesson what is this contact about, right? And what are the tasks, finally. And we need to, the last lesson will be for white people to understand where is their territory, because there is the thing of territory, and always will be. In fact, the only territory, true territory of white people is Europe. In fact, this is the only territory. North America and Australia is not really the white people territory. You can say Australia because Australia is big. So basically, Aboriginal people own most of this territory, which is kind of empty. And if you see, white people are only on the coast, and that's not much. And but in North America, white people, they are not only white people over there. There are so many Mexicans, there are so many Africans, Chinese people, that if you really see it, USA and Canada is not so white. That's what I'm saying. They themselves brought Africans, they themselves let Mexicans enter, and they themselves let all other people enter and live over there. So there are lots of people, not only from Europe, but from all over the world. So seeing the USA, maybe it's like New York, I don't know, and the south of USA is more or less white, more or less, because there are lots of Mexicans. So really the only territory which is white people territory, we are going to the beginning. And the beginning was that the whole world is owned by native people. And that should be, because most of the earth is this is just to the farming and some industry, but mostly it's all about farming, growing gardens, just growing food. That's what the earth is all about forests, water, and growing food. And industry should be just in some places, and those some places are just some cities, and those cities is civilization. And surely, just as white people, they started all the civilization. Yes, Arya people started all the process of kind of changing the energy, and did that click, that native people just all the individuation process, individualization. Okay, to individualize. Wow, English is so horrible. Yeah, that all started. But basically, white people, they just we own Europe, right? And the civilization, like kind of idea, spirituality is in Asia. All what is India, China, and so on. You can say that, but all the other part, all the parts of the world they belong to native people, and that's it. And that's what needs to be the lesson for white people. We are not owners of this earth, and we should not be, should never be. Okay. Now, this is the final lesson, and so from the philosophical point of view and God's point of view, why bother? We don't. Transmission wanted to finish. Okay, so I should finish. Yeah, I think that's it. White people should understand that they are the givers of civilization, and they are giving all the spirit development. They are not the owners. We are not the owners of this earth. Native people are just so already in their patriotism nations, so in their individuum, ego, and being who I am and so on, that they can have their countries and live over there very well, okay? And they should be farmers and so on. And I'm not saying, okay, and this is not to say that white people should disappear, because no, because we will always be those wise people, those Viedmas and Vietmins, and native people will always be the shamans, right? The shamans, and yeah, and those two elements needs to exist. I'm just saying that the only true territory, white territory, where should this territory is Europe, and this territory should belong to white people, and there we should have our culture. That means that the lesson of all those immigrants entering Europe is that white people wake up. This is your true and only territory, because in all other territories you can live, you are welcomed, right? You can go over there, live there, and help natives all over the world just as before. But you are not the owner, right? You are not the owner. We are the owner only of Europe, but this Europe should be white, and this Europe should be Arya, and this and all the this is before the, like, we have 6,000 years for the next Satya Yuga, more or less, and we should unite. All white people should unite, also maybe with Asia, because they are more or less in this ancient knowledge, the same ancient knowledge and spirituality, and we should unite and just put our kingdom over there, our rules. But it not should. It means that we should unite in a word, in a way of doing our own countries, okay, little countries, and each country should have its ideas and so on. But it should be white in culture, ideas, and so on. And all other natives who enter over there should be controlled, right? They cannot change the mentality of Europe. That's what it is, right? And but that's going on right now. White people from West Europe, from USA, Canada, who are woke up, who are conscious, they just they are coming to more or less Poland, and maybe some other Slavic countries as well, and they are just I would say they are gaining strength, but at one moment they just need to go back to their countries and regain those countries and the power, right? And that doesn't mean, that doesn't really mean that just means to put some laws, right? And that just means that it will be the last part of the struggle will be to destroy the power of those banking rulers and the satanic agenda and so on. And that's what started sometime, I don't know, not so much, maybe 10-20 years ago. We started to fight with that because we've got already some consciousness, right? Most people. Before it was not many people knew what's going on already. Okay, everything will be fine. Energetically speaking, the energies just need to level up, right? They just need to stabilize themselves. Okay, now about you, it's okay. So most people, like from Asia, foreigners, I was thinking, should I just delete you from my Facebook? But that's a lot of work. And I don't know. Yeah, I understand. You just want to enter Europe. You just want. I'm not in Europe. I'm in Peru. You just want to help. You just want some help. But right now there are lots of help organizations and kinda they will let you enter Europe, West Europe, right? So I don't understand really the problem. And I'm not a professor, I don't have my school, I'm not really a teacher, but I'm just saying, okay, if somebody wants some kind of interview with me, or maybe I will put it here, if any of you who are watching and are Polish and you speak English, you want to help, I don't know if you want, some people from foreigners, and they can be from Asia, Pakistan, India, and if you want to do some interview for them, or if you want to, I don't know, like their pages, you may. So I'm saying just, that's what I'm saying. My friends who are foreigners, why don't you write to my friends, my friends, who are Polish or other nationalities, white, and you ask for help, right? I also can ask for help, because I'm starting my charity organization, and I need, for example, for my page, Gaia Sophia, the wisdom of the earth. This page will be in Polish and English, and maybe even Spanish. I just need 100 observers to do lives over there. So I'm also coming out with it. So why don't you help me? Why don't you just observe over there? Why don't you help me? And yeah, I already gave many interviews to some Pakistani people, and I cannot help anybody. I mean, even if I was in Poland, I wouldn't help anybody to come to Poland, because right now I try to explain what's going on is that there are too many immigrants, and they are also illegal, but even legal immigrants, there are just too many in West Europe, and we understand it. I know that people from Asia, South America, they don't understand it. They sometimes just don't know, you sometimes just don't know where Europe is and how big Europe is. So look at the map, right? And the amount of immigrants in West Europe is huge, just too many, all right? And they are not really controlled, and it's all the bazaar, it's all the destruction of white European culture over there, which is not really understood, because I see it. South America don't understand it. They just keep wanting entering Europe, or North America, or England, and so on, or Australia, and they just maybe that, because probably there needs to be this click, maybe that they will understand that there's a limit of people who can enter and live at one space, right? Especially if they are completely from the other world, like you are people from Pakistan, you are covered. We are not, and we are not Islamic, right? We are open, and we have different laws and different ideas. So I know that there are Islam people, Muslim people, but mainly they are coming from Morocco to, for example, France, or they are from, they are Turkish people from Islam, Muslim people in Germany. So that's a little kind of different story, because they are closer to Europe, and they more or less understand the European culture, and they are a little different kind of Muslim. And if somebody comes from Africa, deep Africa, or from Asia, Pakistan, for example, or Bangladesh, you are just really a different, that's a different kind of religion, and there will be a clash, and there is a clash. So I'm all open, but even if I was in Poland, I wouldn't help anybody to enter Poland or even another country right now, because there is a problem. There's too many people, and you need to understand that, right? And all Europeans and North Americans, they are more or less negative. Their mind is negative towards immigrants, and because they are scared. Just too many people and too much distraction. Okay, so I think I just said everything. Hopefully it's clear, maybe difficult, but I will leave this live, and I will not speak for some time, and let's see what happens.